Houston returns home for the first time in 2 weeks to BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. FC Kansas City visits the Bayou City for the first time. The Blues sit fourth in the table on 4 points through 4 games, while Houston trails by a point with a game in hand. A win moves them up the table. It's FC Kansas City and Houston Dash in National Women's Soccer League action. A live look inside BBVA Compass Stadium. A few new faces ready to make their mark in the starting 11 tonight. Kansas City won their last match. Houston looking for its first win at home. Welcome upstairs, everybody, to our broadcast position once again in downtown Houston, Texas. I'm Lane Sieben, joined by the keeper, Jen Cooper. It's Houston Dash taking on FC Kansas City. And with the first full month in swing, you take a look at what these teams can now accomplish in the first full month of the season. Unfortunately, though, Jen, for the Houston Dash, they'll be without their central playmaker, Brittany Bach.
Losing Brittany in that first game is a huge loss for the club. She was the first player taken in the expansion draft. Randy Waldrum wanted to build the club around her, and now that's not going to be possible.
Bach walking off the field under her own power, but it was against the Boston Breakers where the firsts happened for the Houston Dash this season.
We got not only the first road points and goals, but the first win and a come-from-behind win. First goal by Ella Masser. Great job by Masser to finish that rebound. And then tying goal late from Teresa Noyola, assisted by Souza. Both coming off the bench, and the game-winning goal of PK in the 85th minute. Earning Noyola Player of the Week honors.
Teresa Noyola not in the starting 11 tonight, and she did play against the Seattle Reign a couple of weeks ago, but Jen, you think about what's going to be happening with this team against FC Kansas City. They really want to pick up that first win against FC Kansas City today. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have all the action and the starting lineups as we walk you up to kick here at BBVA Compass Stadium with the Blues taking on the Dash.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
A device that reads brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. A tiny isotope that detects Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. A procedure that repairs heart valves without opening the chest. A better tomorrow made possible today. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
After every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our Haiti locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Head coach Randy Waldrum in his first full professional season, all suited up for today's contest against the FC Kansas City Blues. Houston Dash will be in their traditional home orange, while FC Kansas City will be wearing away whites. And there's your captains, Aaron McLeod on the right, Becky Sauerbrunn on the left. Our player to watch, though, for FC Kansas City is Amy Rodriguez, the 27-year-old out of Lake Forest, California.
A-Rod has been al fuego this season. 3 goals in 4 games, including the game winner Wednesday night over Chicago at home. She is fighting back from a year off for pregnancy to show that she's got what it takes to be back on the national team as a starter. And
Amy Rodriguez will be complemented by a trio of midfielders that play up top in Liz Bogus, Lauren Holiday, and Merritt Matias. But as you see right here, the 5'6" forward who went to USC did not play last year, Jen, due to pregnancy. That happens occasionally here in the NWSL, but this year already you mentioned 3 goals, one of them from the spot.
Right.
Take a look at Houston Dash. This is the new player in the midfield that will replace Brittany Bach. It's Kaylin Kyle, the Canadian international who does have 79 caps. What does she bring to the table, having already played against the Dash with the Boston Breakers earlier this year?
I was so excited. I mean, it's a fresh start kind of for everyone here, and obviously with the MLS here, they obviously know how to run a soccer franchise, and I know a bunch of people in the MLS that said nothing but positive things about this environment and the organization. So for me, it was a no-brainer when they said Houston. I was pumped to get on the flight and come here and help the team.
Kaylin's going to be a great addition to our midfield. She's a seasoned international, was part of their Olympic team for Canada in 2012, earning the bronze. 21 games last year in Seattle, 3 goals, all of them from the spot. And she's going to be that defensive replacement that we need for Bach.
Here's a quick look at our starting lineups. And for FC Kansas City, they switch it up again, playing the midweek game on Wednesday. They don't have any of the rookies up top in the midfield, but Lauren Holiday, Merritt Matias, and Liz Bogus are those 3 midfielders playing behind Amy Rodriguez.
And we're seeing first starts from Liz Bogus and Merritt Mathias.
For the Houston Dash, Kika Toulouse replaces Nikki Washington on that back line.
Randy Waldrum said he wanted to give Kika minutes. She's going to be a great replacement there, especially the way she likes to run up the sideline. And Tiffany McCarty, too, getting her first start. We've got 4 forwards on the field. Randy wants to attack, and he wants to win.
What's so special about Kaylin Kyle? You see her right there with the blonde hair in the middle of your screen, the Canadian international, alongside Ella Masser. What is she expected to bring to the table today?
Well, one, defensive teeth. And I say that we need someone in front of that defense that really wins the ball, controls the tempo of the game, and can work with Becky Edwards.
It's a 4-2-3-1 formation for FC Kansas City, and Vlatko Adonovsky, head coach for the Blues, and for the Dash, the traditional 4-3-3. First touch on the ball for Matias, and it's knocked out of play by the Dash. It'll be a throw in here near side. The Blues in their whites, Dash in orange. And you see Kika Toulouse already playing at left back. She's got to replace Nikki Washington. Jen, you and I were talking beforehand. She likes to get forward a lot more of an attacking left back.
Well, and last season for the Washington Spirit, she had to play all over the field. So she's very comfortable getting forward, and I think that's why Randy wanted to get her more minutes.
It's Toulouse. Drops it back to Diggs. And Diggs playing in place of Holly Hine, who is out with a right knee injury. Holly Hine was listed as probable on the injury report. Clearly not fit to play.
She's on the bench, but I don't think we're going to see her unless something drastic happens. It's interesting to see we've got 2 players on the back line that are getting their first starts of the NWSL season. That's Toulouse and Diggs.
Ohale knocks it out of play. It'll be the first corner for FC Kansas City. And this is a team that has taken the most shots at the target and on target in the NWSL season so far.
Yeah, Cheney and A-Rod combined, 18 shots on goal in 4 games. That's impressive.
So this will be Lauren Holiday in the corner, sitting at 99 caps for the USA team. Lofts it in, and McLeod has to put a touch on it. It's off the crossbar as well. Knocked out high, and Bogus sends it out of play over the touchline. It'll be a goal kick, the first real threat that we'll see from this high-powered FC Kansas City team.
Yeah, the challenge tonight is going to be shutting them down.
McLeod, the Canadian international, who will be starting for the Canadians coming up in a week's time. They play USA in a friendly match, and that will take place up in Canada.
Of course, those friendlies between the U.S. and Canada are never very friendly, especially after that 4-3 semifinal loss in the Olympics. Several players on the field tonight are on the roster for that match next Thursday in Winnipeg.
Well, the newly acquired Kaylin Kyle, who's just on the ball, will be playing for Team Canada as well. Edwards sends it high. High sneaks through behind her defender. Right-footed shot. With a nice save to her left goes Nicole Barnhart, and the first attempt on target is saved.
High coming up the left, right-footed shot, but Barnhart has no problem settling that down. Barnhart was obviously, you can see why she was 2013 Goalkeeper of the Year.
Well, she tried to use the inside of her foot to curl that to the back post around the keeper, and she just didn't quite get enough bend on it.
Almost there. Yeah. Almost there.
In the middle, this is Jen Buskowski. And she is taken down from behind. Kaylin Kyle in there on the tackle. That's the grit that head coach Randy Waldrum brought her here from the Boston Breakers in that midweek trade.
And I know Kyle is happy to be here. She'd been kind of pressed into defense last year for Seattle in kind of the same situation in Boston. She wanted to be back in midfield.
Far side for Coleman. Coleman gives it away. This is Kyle. Kyle played all the way back to McLeod. McLeod wearing the captain's armband yet again. McLeod, who gave up the most goals last year, has done a pretty fair job so far this season.
But I know she's looking for her first clean sheet. The Dash have not had a shutout yet, so that's the next milestone after maybe a home win and a home goal.
Well, the Blues come in with 4 points in 4 games, and the Dash have 3 points in 3 games. You'd like to expect a little bit more out of that. Probably about 5 or 6 points at this point when you look at the rest of the table and how Seattle and Portland are moving ahead right now.
Well, I know that Kansas City is very frustrated that it took their 4th game to get a win, but they needed to figure out how to fit Amy Rodriguez in their system, settle in a couple of rookies.
This is Ohale down. Ohale, who also came into this game with an ankle problem to her right ankle. She was listed as probable on the injury report as well. She is slowly getting to her feet, grabbing at that left ankle.
Hopefully she can shake that off.
It appears she'll be all right. And Erin McLeod will use this time to direct her defense with that newly set back line with Toulouse, Diggs, Ohale, and Romero. Romero and Ohale, the only 2 who have started every game so far. Diggs and Toulouse, the newbies. 5 minutes in, still 0-0. Diggs gives it away on the charge. This is Richmond. Richmond plays it ahead. Rodriguez with a chance to cross it. Gets it to the back post. Holiday comes in to try and poke it through. It'll be a goal kick. Masser, the forward, recovering for her teammates.
As usual, Masser, wherever the ball is. That's where she wants to be. Good pressure by Kansas City, but Masser gets in there to create some traffic, so they end up kind of skying it high over goal.
Well, this is a team that we knew in FC Kansas City who came in leading the league in shots taken and shots on target. We expect Erin McLeod's goal to be peppered tonight.
It's going to be a busy night for McLeod and for the forward defenders in front of her. They've got to stay calm, communicate, and use the midfield for defense when they need it.
Played forward, and header by Sauerbrunn, the captain for FC Kansas City. Header won by Toulouse. Couldn't quite get it past Cassie Coleman. And there is a player down in the midfield area. And it is Robinson. Leanne Robinson, the 27-year-old out of Poway, California. Let's see if we can see how she went down. Ooh, head-to-head with Toulouse.
They're probably going to have to check that for the NWSL policy. Yeah, here's the concussion check.
She's walking off the field under her own power. And the referee telling her there that she does have to actually go to the sideline before she can get waved back on. Catch Dash Soccer in HD all season long on CSN Houston, the home of Dash Soccer and Houston Dynamo Soccer. Ohio will play it back to Nicole Barnhart. Barnhart, part of the USA squad, 54 times. Last year was an allocated player by the United States. Played up top for Holiday. Holiday, a holding midfielder. Taken away by Toulouse. So Oaks, first time we've gotten to call her name. Kyle in the middle, has it stripped away by Holiday. They'll surely face each other coming up in a week's time. Rodriguez will take it up top. Was caught under her feet for just a moment. This is Matthias. And Toulouse there, stout once again. Toulouse already strutting her stuff already, filling in for Diggs, trying to earn that full-time starting role. You have to assume this is more of an audition for Toulouse with a couple other players that can go along that back line as well from what we've seen through the first 3 games already.
And especially considering that by the end of May, we'll see Whitney Engen and Megan Klingenberg return from their club in Sweden. So this is the time to prove that you need to be part of that starting lineup.
Engen and Klingenberg not available till after May 22nd. They are still playing in the UEFA Champions League final. They won a week ago.
Though they will be part of the U.S. roster next week in Winnipeg. So they'll be flying over to Canada and then right back to Sweden.
Racking up the miles, as you'd say.
Yeah.
This is Romero playing it into the middle. Nobody there for her. Matthias has it. The right midfielder charging hard with Masser tracking her back. Masser all over her. Plays it off to Richmond. Gets it right back into the corner. Matthias trying to chase it down, and Diggs is there for the clearance. You could already see that, but with both teams wanting to attack, there will be wide open spaces in the defense for both these teams to get opportunities. The first that's clearly come from FC Kansas City, the second from Houston Dash. Nikki Phillips coming up to snatch it away from the back line. The center back has been known to get forward. Sneaky pass through for Holiday. Tried to find Rodriguez, and Ohalei's there. And this is Edwards to Ohai. Ohai also struggling with a right ankle injury. She was listed as probable as well. Ball played back, and offside is the call against Amy Rodriguez. And you think head coach Randy Waldrum, with all the injuries he's had, the players that are missing, and he's going to start dipping into some of the talent pool around the Houston area to try and find some women to play for this team.
Well, it's a challenge in this league with the roster so small and players with commitments elsewhere and national team call-ups. That's the same challenge for every coach, is how do you rotate the players through so everyone gets the rest they need from injuries, but you don't want to dilute your starting lineup too much.
Yeah, and on the bench tonight, Rafael Souza came in. This is Ohai again. Plays it back post looking for Oaks. McCarty was there as well. And it's cleared off the back line by Leanne Robinson. And this is Holiday. Threads it through. Beautiful pass for Rodriguez. McLeod out of her keeper area. And Toulouse will get it away. This is Oaks.
Great read by McLeod to come out just at the right time.
And McLeod will clear even further up the pitch this time.
Rodriguez has such speed that you can't let her beat you to the ball.
What about an excellent pass from Holiday that we saw with the outside of her boot, too, running up the middle of the field to just bend that with a banana curve around the center back to get it on the run for Rodriguez.
You can see one of the many reasons she was MVP last year, and she and Rodriguez, I think, are going to make a lethal combination for Kansas City. A-Rod, that great poacher finisher, just can tap it in, where Cheney can not only feed the forwards, but she can finish from distance.
Not only do they have the league MVP, they also had the league Rookie of the Year, the league Defensive Player of the Year in Sauerbrunn.
And Goalkeeper of the Year and Coach of the Year.
They pretty much had the starting 11 locked up as well.
Yeah, just an unfortunate semifinal loss. Otherwise, I think it would have been them in New York fighting for the title last year.
Holiday taken away by Edwards. Fell to the foot of Richmond. And onto the outside. This is Coleman. Coleman, a rookie in this league. Played at Florida State University. Holiday in the middle. Wants to get the runner for her teammate. Busting through, Liz Bogus. Will the goal stand? It does. No offside call, and FC Kansas City take an early lead in the 12th minute. Houston 0, KC 1.
Bogus in her first start of the season, first goal of the season. Beats Ari to the ball, finishes cleanly past the sliding McLeod. McLeod could have timed that a little better.
The 30-year-old out of Provo, Utah, who went to Arizona State. In 11 starts last year, she had 1 goal after getting traded to KC, and she's got 1 goal this year. So already the Dash playing from behind on their home turf. Played outside to Coleman. A Holiday on the run with Ohale, and McLeod thought about leaving it for her center back, decided to come forward and take charge of that herself. And she'll roll it to Edwards. Got to be careful with this 4-2-3-1 offense, which is really 4 backs and then about 5 midfielders and 1 strong striker.
And they may have been so focused on Cheney and Holiday that they just didn't pay attention to Bogus.
This is Edwards to the outside for Toulouse. Toulouse up top. She was looking for Ojai. Nothing gets past the keeper, and that's why you should listen to Keeper Notes, soccer show every Sunday at 10 on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560. For more info, check out keepernotes.com. Toulouse inside, and Ojai with a mistouch. And now Oaks trying to get it back. She's battling with Richmond. Richmond plays it up top. It did get out of play, even though it stayed in play. Just barely over the touchline. Houston playing from behind again. Still looking for that first lead at home.
Well, we know they have the experience playing from behind. That, you know, Boston, they came from behind. That first game, we almost tied it in the 93rd minute, so I don't think this has rattled them too much, maybe frustrated them.
This is Matthias on the run. Matthias, so instrumental as a starter as the right midfielder. Masser will play it forward for Ojai. Ojai on the run with Robinson. Barnhart off her line. The chances seem to be building, though, for the Dash, Jim.
They seem more composed on the ball. Their passes are crisper. McCarty and Masser seem really fluid on that right side. I can't tell if Masser's a midfielder or a forward, but we know that's her style.
Bogus with a goal in the 12th minute. KC leads Houston. We played 15 here in the first half at BBVA Compass Stadium. And another great turnout for the Dash. This is Romero. She'll send it in, looking for Edwards and Masser. Masser gets ahead to it. And she was taken down in the penalty area as well. No whistle from our head referee. This is Kyle to McCarty. McCarty's touch lets her down. You see how Kyle is dropped back almost to the center circle, even when the Dash have the ball towards the penalty area.
Yeah, she and Becky seem to be sitting right on top of that back four.
No reason to push him forward yet when you've only played 15 minutes of this first half, even though you trail by a goal. This is Edwards to the outside for Ohale. Ohale, who will be missing in action for a few games due to the African Nations Cup coming up. That won't take place until June, late May and June. Kyle plays it off the foot of an FC Kansas City player to win the throw-in. Kyle from Canada, Saskatchewan. Went to the University of Saskatchewan from 2006 to 2010.
It's surprising that she ended up a soccer player because that's Canadian football and hockey country. I'm pretty sure her father played pro hockey.
You talk about all of the stuff they have up there in cold weather sports. Barnhart, easy take there, and Ojai really chugging around the field and try and get on the ball. Hard pressure from the Orange.
I really like the play of Ojai. You can see she's got something to prove. You know, she was our first pick in the college draft. She's one of the few players from the 2012 World Cup winning team that hasn't gotten a call up to the full national team. So she wants to earn a spot.
Play in the middle, one out by Richmond. Richmond leaves it for Buskowski. To Holiday, who's known to shoot. Played forward, Rodriguez is offside. There's those intricate passes you see from the midfield.
And again, Cheney and Rodriguez making a difference there.
That was a
McLeod
shot
shut the angle down well.
She was offside during that play. Rodriguez, who has taken the most shots and who has the most shots on target in this league so far, as McLeod readies for the indirect free kick. Kyle wins out on the header. They have thrown an elbow in there. That's why she got the call. She went up with Matthias. Kyle loses out. Romero will let this run. My apologies. Merritt Matthias.
And my apologies to Liz Bogus. This was not her first start, but this is her first goal of the season.
Romero with the long throw. McCarty. Trying a long through ball for Ojai, and just a little bit too far to chase. Don't miss the dash. They take on Portland Thorns FC on May 14th at 7 p.m. right here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Tickets are on sale now. Houston-soccer.com. The lone goal coming from Liz Bogus in the 12th minute. We've played 18 and a half here at BBVA. Holiday trying to spin out of trouble. Plays it off for Robinson. And across the back line, Sauerbrunn with a touch to Phillips. Phillips ahead to Coleman. And back into the middle. This is Buskowski. And Ojai there again to challenge. Dash win out. Masser gives it away. Robinson on the outside with plenty of time. Holiday with a feeding touch. Robinson looking outside, trying to find Matthias. Diggs takes it away. This is Ojai. And Kyle will play it all the way back. Ojai with 12 Nigerian caps. Played in the 2012 FIFA World Cup. Ojai looking for her forward. Kalia Ojai comes up with it. Chips it back to her center back. And this is Diggs. Diggs, who played with Central Florida from 2010 to 2013, gives it away. And she's beat on the run. Buskowski trying to get in behind her. She'll leave it. Matthias, right-footed cross, will sail over the goal harmlessly. 20 minutes in, Jen, what have you seen so far with the Dash trailing 1-0?
As I said before, they look more composed. I think they're passing better to each other, but I think they need to remain patient and keep getting it up to Ojai and McCarty.
Toulouse will go all the way back to McLeod. McLeod on 94 caps for the Canadian team.
And they cannot take their eyes off A-Rod or Lauren Holiday for a second.
Play on allowed by our referee. Edwards feeds it to Romero. Ojai tried to give it right back. And it seems the Dash are losing that final touch in the last third.
Yeah, Kansas City's defense is working really well together. Becky Sauerbrunn and Nikki Phillips played together at the University of Virginia. And then you've got Casey Coleman, even though she's a rookie, she's coming off a team that went all the way to the NCAA championship in the fall, and she was part of that under-20 women's team that won in 2012. So she's a very seasoned rookie.
Played ahead for Masser, and Barnhart will come all the way out and shield Masser, who has had a run-in with a few goalkeepers already this season.
I don't know how to describe that other than a welcome to Houston kind of, I don't know, shoulder.
She does have 2 yellow cards as well, which is team tops.
Barnhart's been a backup to Hope Solo for most of the last 10 years. She's such an amazing keeper. She's been part of 2 championship teams in the WPS. She just, doesn't get as much attention because she can't get that starting spot. What do you think of the USA bringing 3 goalkeepers along for next week and Canada only bringing 2? Well, with a one-off, it's not like you're having a long training period leading up to that game. I'm sure Canada has somebody on call if they need it. It's interesting that Barnhart did not get called up for that match. So you can see that the interim coach, Jillian Ellis, she just wants to see the other keepers. Ashlyn Harris from the Washington Spirit, she got her first call up in a long time. So I think it's just hey, let's see what you got. We mentioned Klinenberg and Engen for the dash will be up there as well. This is Ojai. Ojai one-on-one with Kallman. Kallman with stout defense turns her away from it and may have hit Ojai in the face as she goes down to a knee briefly. And the official will call the athletic trainer over, and if she's bleeding, she does have to come out. See if we can see the knock to the face.
It might have happened.
Elbow? It's hard to tell.
That was Kallman just establishing position as a defender. Don't think she meant anything by it.
They were teammates for the U.S. Under-20s. It's all good.
Casey Kallman never recorded a yellow card or a red card in college.
Impressive, especially as a defender.
Yeah, and she's a rookie in this league this year, so let's see if she can keep that up for an entire season of 24 games. As Rodriguez and Matthias knocked off the ball. 2 loose. And Diggs to Kyle, who tried to flick it on for McCarty. McCarty with the first touch. McCarty with plenty of time gives it up to Edwards. Holiday chasing. And O'Hale. Romero's pushed very far forward down the right flank. Oh, would have been a good ball for her if she'd stayed up there. She was already trotting back. It'll be a goal kick. Get social with the Houston Dash. Like us, follow us, and watch us on all your favorite social media outlets to get extended coverage of your Houston Dash. Log on to houston-soccer.com/social media for your social media dashboard. Nearly halfway through the first half, a 12-minute goal from Liz Bogus and FC Kansas City has them leading for the moment. Houston still looking for their first goal on their home pitch. Hasn't come yet. They lost 2-0 to Portland Thorns FC. 1-0 to Portland Thorns FC, my apologies. They lost 2-0 to Seattle Reign. Cleared out of danger by Leanne Robinson. McLeod comes out of her area to take control. This is Diggs on the outside. Diggs to Toulouse. Trying to play it wide, Houston, here early on. Oaks, who we haven't called much of yet. This is Kyle trying to get forward now for the first time. It's back to Diggs. And Edwards to Ojai. And Toulouse. Not on the same page as her forwards. And that might come for the first game or two when Toulouse is making her first start.
Yeah, we've seen more changes in this lineup than we have in any of the previous games. So, communication is going to factor into that.
And you don't have the player of the week from week 2 or your leading goal scorer, Teresa Noyola, in. Ojai on a runner to Oaks, who couldn't quite catch up with it. Teresa Noyola, who scored a brace against the Boston Breakers at Harvard Stadium 2 weeks ago.
And both of those goals were sparked by Rafael Souza, who's back with the team tonight, flown in from Mississippi. She's almost done with her school and Brazilian commitment. She should be able to join the team full-time soon. But she and Noyola were such a potent pair creating that first goal from the run of play, and then Souza had the foul, and Noyola converted the PK for the game-winning goal.
The Dash trapped in their own third right now. Can't find a way to get it across half field. Masser has dropped more into a center attacking mid-roll with McCarty going out to the right. This is them playing a 1-2 touch. Boskowski to Coleman, and Coleman can't do anything but let it run.
Yeah, it's good they're holding Kansas City down in this half, so at least they're containing them, but we're not finding that final pass, that final shot.
Holiday, who's known to run all over the pitch, trying to counterattack. And it's broken up by Toulouse and Diggs. Kyle ahead to Ojai. A touch let her down as well. Masser has it taken away. Sauerbrunn gets it ahead. This is Holiday, the playmaker.
And if you don't recognize the name Holiday, she used to be Lauren Cheney. She changed her name last summer after she got married.
26-year-old out of Indianapolis, Indiana. She started all 5 games with a goal. It'll be a FCKC throw-in. Last year, led the league with 12 goals. Haven't seen her take a shot yet.
Yeah, they lost midfielder Desiree Scott from the Canadian national team in the offseason. She went over to Notts County, and that was a big piece that the team was worried about, is how do we create that combo that Scott and Cheney had last year.
Holiday plays a 1-2 diving save. The shot came in. And McLeod might have had that covered even if it went past her position. It might have been going out of bounds. I tell you, hard shot from Rodriguez. She can go from distance as well. Just a little toe poke.
Just a little toe poke from 18 yards out.
We knew McLeod was going to have to work hard. She's made now 12 saves on the season. She's allowed 6 goals. That includes the one that Kansas City has scored tonight as well.
And I know she's looking forward to that U.S. match Thursday night. Canada hasn't beaten the U.S. in 13 years, so she's got that in the back of her mind.
Well, no clean sheet for her tonight.
No clean sheet.
Even though she wanted that. Last year she had 4 shutouts. Coleman to the outside. Bogus plays it right back to her, and Coleman's touch is out of play. Coming up on the 30th minute here in Houston, Texas, an excellent evening. We have that West Coast weather in effect, at least for another week or two before the real heat starts to set in and those 90-degree, 100-degree weather days start coming up.
Yeah, some of the players were saying to me yesterday, they're like, you guys keep telling us it's going to be really hot. When is it going to be really hot? Soon enough.
You know, I made it out to the training facility for the first time this week, and I tell you, that's something that they have out there. Nice sliding tackle taken away by Becky Sauerbrunn, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in the NWSL last year. And just to get back to my point, Jen, you can tell why a lot of these Dash players like Kyle were so happy to come to Houston, because they have that link with the Dynamo that gives them these facilities that are top-notch.
And they are going to be constructing a separate locker room facility for the Dash out at Houston Sports Park, so I know that means a lot to the players. And just a great facility, a partnership with the city of Houston, and fields that were sorely needed for not only soccer but rugby, lacrosse, field hockey, frisbee.
Masser takes down Jenna Richmond. Jenna Richmond, who played at UCLA. It'll leave it up for Lauren Holiday, who's their main distributor.
And she can score from this distance.
Well, this is pretty far out. You'd have to be fairly hopeful to score from here. Instead, she'll loft it in, trying for the back post and just missing the header. Well, I tell you, they're gunning for the goal.
And there's your center back and captain, Becky Sauerbrunn. I'm not surprised to see her all the way up there. Great ball by Holiday, and Sauerbrunn sneaks in that run behind the defense, almost heads it on.
Oh, it was Ojale who had a chance, I think, to get her head to it. She chose to let it run. Could have been a great opportunity there for FC Kansas City. Instead, they still sit with their 1-goal lead. This is McCarty to Masser. Right back to her. McCarty's on the run. Feeds it through to Oakes. Oakes looking outside. Romero coming up from a right back position. And the cross comes through. Oakes will catch up to it. Trying to shield off Matthias, who's dropped all the way back from her midfield role. It'll be a dash throw-in just in front of the bench. Toulouse will take it. Find McCarty. Tried to flick it to herself, and she was held. No whistle called from our official. A clear hold of the jersey, though. McCarty unable to get around her defender. Oakes will play it back to Romero.
Clear hold by the Kansas City player to restrain McCarty.
Finally taken out of play by Matthias. And there it was.
I guess the ref just didn't have a good angle on that play.
Toulouse now has a deep throw-in from the corner. 33rd minute, Dash still trailing by 1. Bogus with a goal in the 12th minute for FC Kansas City. Dash looking for their response. McCarty. Well, a half-hearted overhead attempt. Easy collection for Barnhart. One of the best winning percentages on the road for FC Kansas City last year. Currently 0-2 on the road this year. Still looking for their first win away from home. They do a good job on possession in their game so far, but Jen, you know, that doesn't necessarily translate into wins unless you're taking shots, which they are as well, but they have to go in the back of the net.
As long as the Dash can contain Cheney and Rodriguez, most of the scoring threat should be taken care of.
McCarty that's on a nice turn. Cleared out of play once again. So the Dash trying to push here with about 10 minutes and change left. We haven't heard Rodriguez's name pop up in the last 5 minutes. She did have that shot on goal when she was offside, but since then, almost nothing. Ball comes into Masser. And this is Oakes. And Toulouse sends it in. Back post. Barnhart had to get a hand to it. The mitt knocks it out of play. It'll be a corner kick for the Dash.
Kaylin Kyle almost gets the franchise's first ever goal. She's up there with the Kansas City defender trying to head it in, but Barnhart gets her hand to it, gets it clear.
Well, they were working on corner kicks with Nikki Washington no longer a part of the team during their training sessions earlier this week, and Kika Toulouse was taking them. She'll take this one here. And a low line drive right to the foot of Buskowski and got trapped underneath her for just a moment. Ohio will send it back out to Toulouse. And a throw-in comes for the Dash on the far side.
Interesting to see that was Ohio back there on defense and not up in the box.
Oakes trying to get it away from Casey Coleman. Well, the Dash have it trapped in their third of the opponent. And Toulouse with a cross between a shot and a cross. Taken by Barnhart in easily. This is Matthias sending it up top. Another great thing about this formation, the 4-2-3-1, is that they can sit back and play defense in their own third and then charge on the counterattack. This is Holiday trying to find Rodriguez through. Ohale claiming handball. Rodriguez on the left foot. Holiday on the turn is taken down right at the semicircle, and Edwards is claiming no foul. The question is, did she get the ball first or the player first? I think that's all ball.
It looks like she has ball. I almost thought Edwards was the one that was fouled.
That looks like a good tackle right there, Jen, by Edwards.
Thankfully, it was outside of the box, so at least this isn't a penalty kick.
Oh, but this is definitely within Holiday's range.
This is her bread and butter.
The only goal she scored so far this season came by a spot kick. And she'll hover over this one. Nobody else near her. Holiday to shoot. Low line drive just to the left of the goal. No trouble for McLeod. You'd think you have to do better in that situation, though.
Right. She's got the skills to do something better with that ball.
Chose to
More
go
of a line drive. She's trying to place it in the corner. Probably would have been better to chip it over the wall. Let one of her players run onto it.
Well, McLeod did a good job of setting up her defense in that situation.
Right. So much pace on that, even A-Rod couldn't catch that ball.
A-Rod, also known as Amy Rodriguez. Amy, I think, is her second name. A-Rod, her first name. .38th minute. Kansas City still leading 1-0 thanks to Liz Bogus' goal in the 12th minute. Did a nice job muscling the defender Ari Romero out of the play. That's how she got her goal, snuck in there with the left foot. But we've seen Richmond and Buskowski, the two midfielders who sit back in that 4-2-3-1 formation, not really make it forward much. This will be a long throw from Romero. Romero sends it in. Nasser tried to get ahead to it. Buskowski instead, and then played out of play by Coleman. And it's another corner.
And another chance for Kika DeLuce to show she's got what it takes to be a starter. We'll see if they try to go close to the goal this time or send it back outside the 18.
Randy Waldrum says they have about 4 different plays they can run from the corner, which is probably 3 more than most teams have right now in the NWSL. Toulouse will send it in, back post. Ohale can't quite catch up to it. Harmlessly out of play for a goal kick.
I'm sure all these players were thinking in the back of their mind just how awesome it would be to have the first home goal. That's got to be some motivation.
They're searching. They certainly are searching. So far, many of the attempts in the second half of the first half have come from the dash. Few and far chances in between for FC Kansas City. Rodriguez lays it off for Holiday, trying to get it back. Instead, it's Buskowski pushing ahead. This is Bogus with a right-footed cross, looking for Matthias. And McLeod, strong off her line, comes to take it in.
We haven't mentioned it yet, but Buskowski is basically the Iron Woman for FC Kansas City. She has played every minute that this franchise has ever been on the field.
That includes 22 matches from last year in 2013. They call her Iron Woman. Buskowski out of Chicago, Illinois. That's Robinson in your picture. She also started all 22 games. She was injured in the semifinals, or else they would have had 2 Iron Women.
Yeah, so I think she's only 20 minutes fewer played than Buskowski.
That semifinal match for FC Kansas City left a sour taste in their mouth against Portland Thorns FC, who they just lost to in a regular season match this year as well. 3-1 the final there.
Well, that's been the challenge for FC Kansas City last season and to start this season is keeping a lead, finishing a game. They were tied 1-1 with Portland, ended up losing 3-1. You know, they were 1-1 with Washington Spirit, ended up losing 3-1. And of course, that semifinal from last year, they were up 2-0 and lost 3-2 in overtime. So I think that's, a weight they want to get off their shoulders is, okay, we have this lead. How do we protect this lead and win this game?
So the Dash aren't out of it, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Even being the newbies in the league, the Dash have been known to come back before. They did it against Boston. 3-2 the final there, thanks to Teresa Noyola. This is Ojai in the middle. As it poked away by 3 white jerseys. Matthias, slide tackled away by Romero. Romero, the Mexican international out of Glendale, Arizona. Only stands 5'3". She plays big. And a little push in the back on Matthias for good measure. She's claiming dive.
He's such a great left back, but also a potent part of the attack, especially with that long throw-in that we've seen several times tonight.
She's still jostling with Matthias off the ball. I don't know if our camera picked it up, but from up top, we can see everything. Tell you, they have so many cameras around the pitch these days. I know we're working with about 6 here for this Dash broadcast, and the guys back in the booth are doing an excellent job with what we have. This is a throw-in. Finds Bogus again. Ricochet. Almost fell perfectly for Rodriguez, but McLeod scoops it up.
Yeah, that could have been a very dangerous situation, but McLeod got there in time. And O'Holly was almost in the place to shield Rodriguez from getting that ball.
3 white jerseys. Look at that in a triangle up top, and this time foul in favor of the Dash. When FC Kansas City strikes with those 3, they strike quick. It's like a snake. Rattlesnake coming out of the brush. You don't see it coming, and then when it happens, it's too late. Just like the Liz Bogus goal that came in the 12th minute.
That's a good metaphor for them, especially with the speed of Rodriguez and their combination play. It's not just one of them that can score. Any of them can score.
The Blues will sort of lull you to sleep. They'll stay hidden in the brush.
Nice.
Okay,
very poetic. Very poetic.
I'll back off that one.
Just about have rattlesnakes in Kansas City?
Just about 2 minutes left in play before we hit stoppage time here in the first half. And FC Kansas City might have another shot here, and Diggs did just enough to get in front of Buskowski. Or else that half volley might have found the back of the net.
And these are going to be an important couple of minutes. If the Dash can finish out the half with just Kansas City up 1-0, or even better, get an equalizer, they can go into the locker room feeling calm and composed and come out with a new fighting plan.
And there are still a few substitutions that are game changers for head coach Randy Waldrum, like Rafael Souza, Jordan Jackson, Teresa Noyola, the club's leading goal scorer so far through 3 games.
I'd be surprised if we didn't see Jordan Jackson come in the second half.
This is Masser. Nobody in front of her. Masser with a chance to shoot. Masser sails it over the goal. A good look for her. Might have bobbled just a bit as she put that on target.
Shot from distance. Maybe need a little bit more pace. She leaned back just a little too much, so it went over high, but good idea.
Really the best attacks so far for the Dash have come from Kalia Ohai in those early minutes when she put the shot on target and forced a save from Barnhart. Since then, it's been a few chances that have sailed over the goal. Last minute of regulation. Ooh, tough tackle as Diggs bends over backwards. And Rodriguez took her down. And that's a forwards tackle right there.
Rodriguez was already on the ground. She could even get a card for playing from the ground.
Diggs will walk it off, though. Marissa Diggs out of Rowlett, Texas. Just recently had a birthday last month. By the way, Kika Toulouse had a birthday today. She turned 25. Happy birthday. Well, they've said 2 minutes will be put up on the board for stoppage time. We had a few breaks in play. FC Kansas City still up 1-0 over the Dash with a 12-minute goal coming from Bogus. That's a balloon on the field. Kansas City will play right through it. Lofted ahead. Buskowski on the run. Got the feed from Richmond. She'll backtrack and find Bogus and Holiday. And Bogus oversteps to the outside. And Toulouse is there to poke it out of play. Liz Bogus out of Provo, Utah, the goal scorer this evening. Had 1 goal last year. Was traded to Kansas City last year. The 30-year-old out of Arizona State. Throw-in comes. Finds the feet of Holiday, and 3 orange jerseys there, and Ohale clears it right off of Holiday and out of play. There might be one more opportunity in this for Houston before that whistle blows.
Smart play by Ohale to just bounce it off the Kansas City player. get the goal kick, waste some time.
Cloud will clear. Sails to Oaks. This is Ojai. Ball's right back to her. Kansas City just swarming a defense, and then Matthias hits her own teammate. That was Jenna Richmond going down. She hit the deck. She is up and walking around, shaking it off. McLeod will switch field. Diggs comes in with a high foot. Play forward for Rodriguez. Touches it through Edwards. And Ohale's there to clean it up. Nice stout defense from Ohale. Diggs to Oaks to Edwards. And played ahead to Ojai. Nice turn to her left foot. Sends it along from Masser. And Phillips is there, and Barnhart will clear. Can't have much more time left. Only 2 minutes of stoppage time, and the clock shows 45. And there's the whistle. A 12th-minute goal from Liz Bogus, and FC Kansas City has them leading on the road. And they haven't won on the road yet this season. What will head coach Randy Waldrum and Houston Dash do during their halftime talks? We'll talk about it when we come back here at the half.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Making isotopes that can detect Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
After every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I don't think anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage than Wayne himself. He needs to make a difference.
Wayne, will he score, Wayne? Will he break it up, Wayne?
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend?
E foi assim, a noite passada, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo. Ficou...
FC Kansas City, 1-0. And we're back up in the broadcast booth here inside BBVA Compass Stadium. Lane Zeben joined by Jen Cooper. Jen, this first half saw a lot of shots on target from FC Kansas City. That's exactly what we expected, but the Dash had a few of their own as well.
Right, Kansas City's leading the league on shots on goal, but we saw some good offensive movement from the Dash. Hopefully they can find that last touch in the second half to get a goal.
So let's take a look at some of those goals that did come in that first half by Liz Bogus, and some of the shots that also came that forced a couple of these saves from these great keepers in Barnhart and McLeod. This was the first goal.
Great finish by Liz Bogus. Fed from the back. McLeod comes out, but her timing's just a little bit off. Then Cheney had a free kick, low-driven ball, but couldn't quite find the corner she wanted. A-Rod beats Ari Romero, but shoots wide.
And the Houston Dash attack came from Kalia Ohai, who had really the biggest opportunity in the first 5 minutes. Other than that, it was a couple of chances that gone begging, forcing a couple of saves from Ella Masser in the back, who dropped back from her forward position. But then you had Kika Toulouse, who got her first start, make a couple of great plays on defense.
And Erin McLeod making some great saves to keep that 1-0 lead.
Late in the first half, that was another good chance, forcing the save from Nicole Barnhart, and then Masser sailing over to the crossbar. It still stands 1-0, though, FC Kansas City. Jen, what would you like to see in the second half, whether it's a change in the lineup from head coach Randy Waldrum or maybe a change in tactics on the field?
I think I'd like to see a change in the lineup. Rafa Souza, if we can get her on the field. She was the spark in the game against Boston who really helped create those 2 goals. Also maybe a change in midfield, maybe Jordan Jackson coming in to just mix it up, bring some fresh legs and a new attacking mentality.
FC Kansas City has the lead, which is something they're accustomed to. But as you said during that first half, they drop a lot of leads. What do they have to do in order to make sure they hold on to this one?
As long as they can contain the Dash and really shut down the midfield so they can't feed up to Ohai or Oaks or Masser, they're going to hold on to that lead.
When we come back, we're going to talk with Brittany Bach, the midfielder who's out for the season for Houston Dash, right here with the Dash trailing 1-0 to FC Kansas City.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
An exoskeleton powered by brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
He's done just about anything else. Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
After every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium in downtown Houston. Home of the Houston Dynamo, home of the Houston Dash. 1-0 at the half, lanes even, joined by Jen Cooper and the midfielder Brittany Bach. we first have to take a look at some of these halftime stats before we talk with Brittany. And I tell you, some of them, well, no, we're actually going to just scratch that. But Brittany, tell us, you've seen the results now since you've been off the field. How have you handled not playing over the last couple of games and being more of a coach on that bench?
Well, unfortunately, that's something I had to go through last season for a lot of games. It's not the role I wanted to take again, but obviously no control over that. But it's a role where I want to inspire and motivate my teammates. A lot of times, me on the field and the passion I bring, and I play with heart, and that bite that I bring, I obviously can't bring that. So I have to lead in a different role, obviously. So it's been a difficult time, especially with right after surgery. But the more and more that I start to get recovered, the more I'll be out there with the girls.
Tell us what it was like to see the team earn their first win, especially score 3 goals to come from behind. I know you weren't in Boston with them, but what was it like watching that?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, I called Kalia right after because we hadn't traveled. We were just freaking out. We were so proud of our team for fighting back, coming late in the game, getting those last 2 goals. You know, just my team too, a few of them reached out to me and said, "That was for you, Britt." And of course I got teary-eyed because I love this team so much, and to see the fight in them, to come together that late in the game on the road was huge.
And it seems like this community has really rallied around you, even though the franchise is very new. You only got to play 23 minutes. What kind of support have you seen from the community?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, we talk about the first day that the Dash came about, when we got drafted, and with the injury, it's really been nice to have fans saying, you'll be back, and just the support, and already with the community, we've been involved a lot with a lot of projects, the house, and we did a lot of few visits in children's hospitals, so we love it. We love the support, and they obviously love having a women's team, so it's been great.
So do you think your role this season will be transitioning from the face of the franchise on the field to the face of the franchise in the community?
Well, I've always been a person, I think a lot of people that know me know that I will do whatever I can to help my team. So if it's on the field, if it's off the field, I will give every piece of me. So I'm hoping that, we will get more and more involved. I know that's a huge thing that the Dynamo has, and now we with the Dash have and want. So I'll do whatever.
For the Houston Dash, now that they trail in this game, what have you said on the sideline? Because we saw you walk in with your yellow penny on. We know you're not going to be getting out on the field. What have you noticed out there with the new signing, Kaylin Kyle, coming in?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, she's come in. The first practice I saw that I was out there, demanding and just getting stuck in, and it's exciting to have a little bit of bite. I know that a lot of players are putting in a lot of work, but to embrace that role and to have everybody kind of buy in, and that takes a lot, coming to a new team, but I think she's done a great job. I think we can even gel with her more, and the more off the field, on the field time we can have with her, it will just help.
Brittany, we thank you for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we hope to see you do more for the Dash and Dynamo here in the Houston area.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. There is a lot to go, and we continue to take a look at this second half with FC Kansas City leading in this game 1-0. Jen and I will talk about it when we come back, and there's a lot that we have to get forward to with some of the changes that we might expect coming up, and Brittany filled us in on perhaps what we might see in the second half. Jen, we'll come back and talk about that here in just a moment on CSN Houston from BBVA Compass Stadium.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
A device that reads brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. A tiny isotope that detects Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. A procedure that repairs heart valves without opening the chest. A better tomorrow made possible today. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
After every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I don't think anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage and Wayne himself. He needs to make a difference.
Wayne, you're going to put it. Will he score, Wayne? Will he break it up, Wayne?
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend?
E foi assim, ano passado, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo.
We are back inside BBVA Compass Stadium, and as the players continue their walkout to get ready for this second half, it is FC Kansas City leading 1-0 over Houston Dash. Downtown Houston, Texas, an excellent pitch that we see out there as well. It was last played on by the Houston Dynamo a week ago. They ended up drawing that decision against Portland, and we know that the Dash will return home on May 14th against Portland Thorns FC. They play 2 against them. Do you think there are any changes, as Jen Cooper rejoins me in the broadcast, about what head coach Randy Waldrum wants to do to bring more of an attacking presence to this Houston Dash squad?
I think we need a change in the midfield. It's not just an attacking presence, but someone who can really pull all the pieces together, get this team settled down, communicate well with each other. I'm thinking that piece is either Rafa Souza or Jordan Jackson.
Well, we saw McCarty, who's standing right there on the right, make her first start. She's played in that midfield role, striker role, swapping with Ella Masser up top. Another great turnout for the Houston Dash fans. How about that?
And this crowd is really good at making noise. I mean, several times during that first half, you know, we were hearing Houston Dash from either side. It's a great environment here, and you really see the benefit of having a soccer-specific stadium for an NWSL team.
There's the new midfielder, Kaylin Kyle, wearing number 9 with a pink headband. Teams will huddle before we get going here in the second half. Both teams have taken 5 shots on target. 5 shots, my apologies. The Dash with 1 on target. FC Kansas City with 1 other on target, which was the goal scoring outside of Amy Rodriguez's shot that came when she was in an offside position.
So that could be the lowest shot on target total for the Kansas City in a half.
McLeod talking it over with her new teammate Kyle. And we do have a substitution here at the half for head coach Randy Waldrum. Jordan Jackson will join the midfield.
Looks like she's coming in for Tiffany McCarty.
Holiday and Rodriguez right there.
Tonight was the first game that Jordan Jackson did not get the start, and she saw a lot of starts in preseason too. So hopefully she'll bring some familiarity back to that central midfield, and we'll see how well she and Kaylin Kyle can work together.
So McCarty is out with the halftime substitution. Jordan Jackson, the 23-year-old out of Overland Park, Kansas, joins the squad. Both starting 11 are on the field, and we're underway in the second half with FC Kansas City leading 1-0. This is Rodriguez winning it away from Ohale. She finds Holiday already in the corner. Left-footed cross comes in, header right off the top of Merritt Mathias. Couldn't quite direct that in, but that's a free open header without 30 seconds already gone in the second half. Jordan Jackson, who comes in with the team high 4 shots, although none of them have hit the target yet. She had 2 in that opener against Portland Thorns FC. When your midfielder's leading in shots taken, you know you have to switch something up. Mathias deep in the corner, runs it out of play herself over the goal line. It'll be a goal kick for Houston Dash. Still the same back line, a Toulouse on the left side, Romero on the right, Diggs and Ohale as your center backs in the middle. Diggs making her first start of the season. Ohale, also known as Osi Ohale, a Nigerian, is right alongside her. This is Diggs on the ball. Diggs, a second round, 11th overall college draft pick. Comes out of UCF, Central Florida. Played there from 2010-2013.
And Diggs is the first 2-time All-American out of Central Florida since the great Michelle Akers in the mid-'80s.
Played across the back line, near side. Coleman gave it up to Richmond. On the run, Rodriguez with speed, sneaks through, right-footed shot is clean and cut. FC Kansas City takes a 2-0 lead, and it comes in the 48th minute.
Right-footed shot just past McLeod. She beats both of her defenders, finishes cleanly. That's her 4th goal in 5 games.
Now tied for the league lead in goals scored at 4. She had 3 coming in. The league lead was 4. And she's got herself another to help the team go up 2-0.
And this is going to be a crucial time for the Dash to see how they respond to this, to be down 2-0 at home, to be scored on so quickly into the second half after that midfield change. We're going to see the character they have now.
And Rodriguez showing not only power on the shot, but strength, able to muscle off 2 defenders in Diggs and Ohale. And we already saw Bogus muscle off Romero. And we know this back line is makeshift from head coach Randy Waldrum, and it's not what he thought he'd have going into the season, but they still have to show a little better than I think what they've done so far.
Well, Waldrum has said before that this is going to be a work in progress. We are a year behind. The Dash is a year behind the other team. So as much as he has the expectations for wins now, goals now, success now, he's trying to keep his expectations in check that this is an ongoing project.
This is how Masser got stepped on. Lost the cleat there for a moment. Has to relace those boots right up. Long throw in coming from Romero. Trying to pick out Oaks, Masser, Ohale. One of the 3 forwards that the Dash have used throughout their first few games. Elston on the bench as well. Comes all the way through to Masser. This is Edwards, left-footed bender. Right to the keeper, Barnhart. Now, if only the Dash can find a way to spot these shots away from Barnhart, who's gobbled them all up.
Accurate long-distance throw from Romero. Edwards gets a nice touch to it, just one touch, but straight to Barnhart, who smothers it.
Perhaps looking for that deflection as well that might carry him into the goal. That's something you learn from an early age. Just take shots, put them towards the target. If they go in, great. If they don't, at least you tried.
Well, and especially in women's soccer, a lot of people aren't aware that the size of the ball is based on hands, and women's hands tend to be smaller. So, you know, the first great coach of the U.S. women's team talked about, Nancy Dorrance talked about, always follow the shot, always take the shot, because there's a greater chance that a female keeper is going to bobble it.
Barnhart hasn't bobbled them yet. 2 clean grabs on Ohale's shot from early on, and that one from Edwards here in the second half. Oaks has it run through, gets past Coleman, beats Phillips. Oaks trying to lay it on the right foot. Masser's there. She tried to step over. May have hit the underside of her heel as she was trying to step over it. FC Kansas City can run with the counterattack until it's taken away by Kyle. Back to Edwards. And now Edwards is the one playing that holding midfield role while Kyle goes forward with Jackson. Digs to the outside for Toulouse. Ohale and Diggs. Play forward to Jackson, sniffed out, and Rodriguez on the runner. Wasn't quite going to catch up to that. McLeod takes it in safely.
You know, one player we haven't talked about tonight is the new international signing for the Dash, who can't quite suit up yet, but that's Nina Berger. She's the all-time leading scorer for Austria, and she was the Austrian League's leading scorer for 5 years in a row. So as soon as her paperwork's completed, she'll be out there and maybe give us that scoring punch we need.
She did fly in yesterday. She is not active for today's contest, but they did fly in Rafael Souza, who is here. Rodriguez on the runner, played onside, outside of the boot. A nice stop from Aaron McLeod, and maybe Rodriguez trying to get a tad too fancy with that shot.
Now she gets past Ohale, gets the shot off, but it's right to McLeod, who takes it down.
Talk about
McLeod
how
was in
tough
the right
that
place.
kind of shot is.
There's a lot of power on that ball.
Tried to bend it in with the outside of her boot instead of going with the inside or with her left.
Yeah, sometimes simple is better.
Well, they always talk about how strikers favor one side over the other, and Rodriguez displays that right there. Would much rather go for that right-footed shot than have it even go with the left. Don't know how they can't be two-footed this day and age. Nice threat of action over these last 5 minutes. Haven't had a stoppage of play until now. 1 to win 2 tickets to the Houston Dash vs. Portland Thorns match on May 14th. Text PRIZE to 69050 for your chance to win. 69050. Jen, is that you texting? I thought so. FC Kansas City has it in the Dash half. And Diggs does a great job poking it away from her counterpart, Leanne Robinson. Ball sent in. Bogus there, trying for the header, cleared by Romero and Ohale. And it falls for Richmond, trying to set up a shot with the right. Cuts back to the left. Trying to go to Rodriguez, and the Dash swarm to take it away. Edwards goes back to her teammate. Romero onto the outside. Romero with a nice chest trap. Tried to pass it to herself. Romero, the 2013 Big Ten Player of the Year with Nebraska. This is up top. Oakes comes away with it. Slide tackled away by Phillips. And our referee will stop play and give up the foul. Nikki Phillips, Poland international, the 26-year-old out of Ridgewood, New Jersey, has the first foul called against her. Good spot here for Romero to try and send it back post as Noyola warms up on the sideline. This one coming from about 40 yards out. The referee trying to push that wall, that two-man wall, back just a few steps. Make sure they're 10 yards back. Everybody forward except Diggs. And Romero will send it in. Tries the back post. Kyle on the run. Couldn't quite connect. Coleman was there right with her. And another opportunity goes begging for the Dash.
Romero gets a nice ball in. Ohale's there. Kyle's fighting to get there as well. You can see why Randy Waldrum wanted to get her from Boston. The grit, the fight. She's doing whatever she can to help the team.
This is Oakes. Will put a shot towards the target. Sails clear. May have received a deflection. Corner kick is the signal. Dash had a couple of corner kicks in that first half. 2 to the Blues 1. And now Toulouse will go over to take her third. Barnhart barking out directions to her defense. Dash have flooded the box with orange. Toulouse will send it in. A chip shot. Barnhart out and dropped it. But she recovers. I don't think the referee stopped play, but play will continue.
Barnhart got some nice height on that to pull it down in traffic, settle it down.
Jordan Jackson trying to sneak in there and block a back pass to the keeper. That was Jordan Jackson who actually bumped Barnhart when she went up for that ball, which was probably a foul, but since Barnhart came down with it, play on is the call.
And Barnhart's got about 8 inches on Jackson, so maybe that had something to do with it.
Barnhart at 5'10", Jackson. Oh, you're close, 5'7". I guess when you add the hands and the arms.
Yeah, she had some nice hops there.
Kyle pokes it away. Richmond on the chase. Instead, it's Edwards to Jackson. Up top to Ojai. Pulled down. No foul given. Masser on the run. And again, Barnhart is out there. Barnhart, who gave up 19 goals all last season, has already given up 7 goals this year, so she can be scored on. Played through for Rodriguez, runs behind Ohale, and taken down. This is dangerous. Could be a red. And it is. The last defender giving chase. Ohale claiming her case. May have gotten a slight tug on the jersey, and Rodriguez smart enough to go down.
That's a tough call right on the edge of the box, and they were entangled in each other, but the referee has to call it on the offense, being the last defender.
And it has to be a red card and
has
attack
to be a red.
On goal.
That's going to be a big loss for the Dash. Ohale has really maintained the control in the back since that second goal.
The red card comes in the 57th minute. Let's take one more look at it. It's almost as if this Ohale
catches up, but just they get tangled in each other. They both have arms out.
Rodriguez is going to have the right of way there as the speedy one. And it wasn't in the penalty area, so it's just a free kick. This is Holiday. This time on target, forces the save. Or did she? The dip on the ball took it out of play. I thought McLeod got a hand to it. Instead, it nestles in for a goal kick. This time she went for power, switching it up from the low line drive shot on the turf that she had last time.
And she was much closer for that free kick. Just outside the box, rising.
The way that ball dipped, though, a knuckler. She took all the spin off of it. The last time she tried to drive it in low on the ground. So head coach Randy Waldrum now playing with 10 players, with Ohale taken out due to a red card in the 57th minute. Well, sometimes you play stronger with 10 men on the field, but trailing 2-0 already as FC Kansas City pushes here late. They're trying to go up by 3 and really put this game to bed.
Yeah, that red card is not the milestone that the Dash were looking for tonight.
This is Bogus, the goal scorer first. Left-footed shot sails high. Dash on over to KeeperNotes.com every Monday afternoon for the latest episode of the Keeper Notes Women's Soccer Podcast. Host Jen Cooper covers the Houston Dash, NWSL, and all aspects of North American women's soccer. Jen, that's your area of expertise. That's why you're here. Color commentary. Casey leading 2-0 over the Dash.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Better you than me. This is Holiday. Dash down a man, not playing at full strength. A red card to Ohale. This is Richmond. Plants back on her right foot. Boskowski. Holiday. Holiday, luckily through the legs of Ojai. Onto the right side. And Robinson plays it through. Matthias will let it run.
And we haven't mentioned it yet, but Jenna Richmond, Kansas City, she was part of the UCLA squad that won the first ever soccer national championship for the Bruins last December.
We'll see a first substitution coming from FC Kansas City. Erica Timrak, second-year sophomore player. She did start versus Chicago. That was her first of the season. She is the NWSL Rookie of the Year. She made the second-best team starting 11 in 2013. Does have some caps for the United States team as well. Debuted against Mexico back in September of 2013.
And she's a great example of why this league is needed for the development of women's soccer. Without this opportunity after her college career, she wouldn't get that call up for the national team.
This is Holiday on the run with Diggs. Diggs with a slide, and well, the ball hasn't gone out of play yet. Holiday kept it in. Diggs now forcing it wide. Romero now unable to keep it in play. Tell you, down 2-0, you can't have defensive laps. Much like that one.
I'm surprised that Lauren Holiday thought that the ball was out. She kind of stopped.
The road to Brazil starts here. Join us at BBVA Compass Stadium as Honduras takes on Israel Sunday, June 1st. Tickets start at just $30. Log on to bbvacompassstadium.com today. Honduras in the World Cup. Tell you, it starts June 14th. That's their last tune-up before they hit the big show. Ball threaded through. McLeod with a save on Holiday. Kansas City still controls, and Romero will knock it up high, dangerously to McLeod. Looks like the Dash will need to make another substitution, and Holly Hine getting ready to come on. Holly Hine, who was originally positioned as a starter in this game, was then scratched late. Looks like she'll have to be used anyway, even though she has some right knee problems. She came in listed as probable on the injury report.
But losing O'Hale in the back, they're going to have to replace that.
Well, Rodriguez will try from distance, and McLeod had it covered all the way. And now they're just getting greedy. And here comes that substitution.
And of course, defense coming in, offense coming out. Stephanie Oakes, Holly Hine coming in. So it'll be shorter forward up top, but we need that defensive backbone.
Stephanie Oakes hasn't had her name called a lot tonight. Somewhat of a non-factor for San Diego. Her third start of the season ends in the 64th minute. So 2 substitutions by the Dash, and they trail still 2-0 as we enter the 64th minute. A goal from Bogus in the 12th minute. The second coming in the second half, just about 5 minutes in from Amy Rodriguez. Buskowski gets the touch on from Matthias. Rodriguez plays it out wide for Leanne Robinson. Play lofted in, header is on by Matthias. Easy save for McLeod again. And it seems more, Jen, now up 2-0 that the Blues want to take more of that attack that they had coming into this game as the league leader in shots taken in the second half, even though they're leading.
Well, especially bringing in Timrak, who started every game so far this season except tonight. I mean, you're really upgrading your lineup when she walks in. So they are not taking their foot off the pedal.
Ohai and Coleman battling for it. Does end up as a goal kick.
And Kansas City knows pretty well, having lost out on the regular season title by goal differential, every goal makes a difference.
Yeah, New York was the winner of the regular season title last year. They all finished dead even on points, though. However, offside is called here. Kansas City did match Portland Thorns FC for the most wins in the regular season at 11. 6 losses, 5 ties. And here comes the last substitution. Dash hoping it's a game changer. Rafael Souza coming in, a Brazilian international, making her first appearance here at home. plays her college ball at Ole Miss, although I guess now that's done and dusted since she's close to graduating here in May.
And in only 3 seasons at Ole Miss, she is their all-time leading scorer. She did her first year of school in Brazil.
Let's see what kind of Brazilian flair she can add to this game with a Dash trailing 2-0. Ella Masser removed.
And I think it says a lot that for the Brazilian national team, Rafael plays left back, but here she's a forward.
This is Kyle. Lofts it forward. Romero brings it down with a nice soft touch. Lofts it in, back post. Souza can't quite catch up, and was it last touched by a white jersey? It was, and the Dash will have their 4th corner kick. And there you see Souza already making an impact, being in close to the box, trying to get herself in the area to try and score.
Just like she did at Boston 2 weeks ago.
She assisted Noyola and then forced the penalty, which Noyola ended up taking. This is Toulouse on the corner. Back post for Kyle. She's all over the back of Coleman, who wanted a foul call, but Kyle heads it out of play. It'll be a goal kick. I tell you, there's so much grappling going on down there, and it's just a matter of how quickly you can bring your hands up, get a little tug in there, pull them right back down before the ref catches you.
Well, and you want to put it in context, too, that we're barely a year away from the next Women's World Cup. A lot of these players are fighting for the attention of their respective national team coaches.
Edwards heads it down to Ojai. Ojai, like a mosquito, running all over the place tonight. And Coleman battles her out of bounds. Nice shield job there by Coleman. 2 rookies going head-to-head. Ojai out of North Carolina, Coleman out of Florida State, 2 powerhouses at the NCAA level.
And they were teammates on the U20 Women's World Cup team in 2012.
Tell you, Coleman, the first ACC Defensive Player of the Year in FSU history. And you have Ojai, who was the Senior Class Award winner at UNC. 2 esteemed products out of their respective academies. No wonder they were both taken very high in the draft.
Yeah, Ojai probably should have been the #1 draft pick, because normally an expansion franchise gets the #1 draft pick, but we got the #2, but we still took Ojai.
You know, Randy Waldrum, head coach for the Dash, said that's where he feels the Dash missed out on. Timrak, far post, save forced. Well, McLeod there to keep this one close. Souza will bring it forward. Touch let her down. It'll be a throw-in, but McLeod keeping on her toes.
Masterful save by McLeod.
But right now, Leanne Robinson down again, the 2nd time. And the referee is calling it back, and now actually whistling for a foul. When play has not yet resumed, the referee is allowed to call back a play, saying that Souza, or was it Toulouse, actually fouled her running down the sideline. And it was Souza.
I would say Robinson just kind of nutmegged Souza.
Sauerbrunn making a run up from the center back position. 2 players open on the top side. Another forced save from McLeod on the shot from Rodriguez. This time she did use her left foot right at the keeper. Rodriguez again in there with another shot.
And she must have heard you talk about why is she favoring her right foot. Sided with her left.
Holiday will take the corner. She'll loft it in, and McLeod punches it clear. May have missed it, in fact. If though a slight touch. Souza will play it ahead. This is Ojai. Now Edwards trying to loft it forward for Jackson, just not quite strong enough to get it to her midfield partner. We're back the other way. This is Buskowski for Richmond. Holiday to the outside. Robinson plays it forward. Matthias comes in with a left-footed shot. Probably more apt to pass that one to the back post than take a shot from that angle, but everybody's caught the fever with KC leading 2-0.
And McLeod has seen some nice support from Clan McLeod right behind her, the north goal.
Well, the Dash have used all 3 substitutions. They are playing a man down. A red card for Ohale came in the 57th minute. This is Richmond charging, and she's brought down by Holly Hine. Holly Hine waiting to turn around to receive her yellow card for her actions here in the 71st minute. She was beat too.
She puts out her right foot. Player goes right over it, gets the call.
The 3rd free kick for Holiday coming within 5 yards of the 18-yard area. Once she's gone on the ground, tried to go far post past the wall. The second time she tried to just boom it through the wall. It went around them as well. Let's see if she goes up and over the 3rd time around.
And you've got Ohio out there helping the wall set up.
Well, Kyle stands 5'7", Jackson stands 5'7", Edwards stands 5'7". Ohio will join. Holiday sets herself and forced save on a tip by McLeod. This time McLeod actually puts her hands to it. The other 2 she didn't have to.
They must have practiced this week. They knew Lauren Cheney would be dangerous on set pieces like that, especially so close to goal. Great read by McLeod.
And here's Holiday. Her maiden name is Cheney. Goes back for the corner, lofts it in. This time McLeod with a forceful punch. Richmond tried to send it back in. Timrack as well. 2 orange jerseys in front of him. And Romero with a sliding kick. That'll force it out of play. Bogus and Rodriguez with the 2 goals. Dash playing a man down. A red card by O.C. Ohale. It came in the 57th minute. Shot comes in and sails high and wide from Matthias.
Well, as you had mentioned, when they went a player down, that sometimes teams play better when they're losing a player like that. I mean, I think they've gotten more organized, and McLeod has come up big to make some of those saves.
Hine better be careful as she dances on it with a back pass to her keeper. Sails over Timrack and out of play. Keep up with Keeper Notes to stay in touch with all the latest women's soccer news on Facebook, Twitter, and keepernotes.com. You better keep her notes. Timrack forced away by Romero. And on the back line for Phillips. Phillips, who was traded to Kansas City for Renee Cutler. That was earlier this season. Matthias with a pass to Richmond. On the back line to Sauerbrunn, the captain. Phillips. Coleman. A 1-2 play from Rodriguez, who's dropped all the way back beyond midfield. Timrack on the run. Only 2 back for the Dash, more on the way. Lays it off to Holiday. Left-footed cross comes in, back post. But offside was called before.
Buzzkowski kind of froze when she heard that offside whistle. Solid cross from Cheney. But Buzzkowski's just a little bit past Holiday.
'75th minute, Dash trail 2-0. Goals from Bogus and Rodriguez. One in the first half, one in the second half. Kyle calls for it. And Romero trying to get it away from Richmond. Richmond out of UCLA in Centerville, Virginia. This is Edwards to Holly Hine, who inserted the game. Already on a yellow card, has to play cautious. Played 5 years at Michigan. Started out as a forward and then dropped all the way back into a defensive role. That's where she resides now.
Her last game for Michigan was played against Randy Waldrum's Notre Dame in the NCAA tournament last fall.
The goal differential will suffer for the Dash if they can't find a way to get on the board. They came into this game 2 goals against. 3-4, 5 against. Well, this is Buskowski with nobody to challenge. Rodriguez tried to go outside of Matthias. Backline cleaning up. Onto the outside. Robinson on the run, passes it through, and all the way to Romero. It's Buskowski. Looking for that shot, instead drops it back to Richmond. Richmond pressured by Ohat. Coleman. Into the corner for Timrak. Timrak to the left foot, beats Kyle. Left-footed cross comes in. McLeod was there. Poked it away from Matthias. And Diggs will clear it off of Timrak. It'll be a Dash throw-in. McLeod all over the place on the back line.
Brave save there to come through traffic and not worry about what player was going to get in her way. She just wanted that ball out.
If it wasn't for her, it might be 3 or 4-0.
Easily.
McLeod showing everything she's got as the Canadian starter. This is Holiday. Drop it to the back line for Robinson. Hine, the center back, coming forward to Romero. Nobody in front of him. Trying to force it through to Jackson on the run. Romero slides to keep it from going out of play and past her. Covered by Kansas City. Flick on by Matthias, and Robinson's on the run with open space. Robinson didn't have a goal, had 5 assists last year in 22 games. Gives it up to Holiday. Holiday will go all the way back. Holiday again on the middle. Matthias plays it forward for Robinson. Souza. Hands behind her back, making sure no handball is called. For all your updates on Houston Dynamo, Houston Dash, TSU football, and more, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BBVA Compass TDM. McLeod with an easy take. Jen, you get one back, this game changes. Dash trailing 2-0.
I mean, I hate to use the cliche, but, 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer. I don't know if I believe that in this situation, but 1 goal back makes a huge difference for the Dash. And you've still got more than 12 minutes to play.
Don't forget, Ohale is out with a red card, so the Dash are playing a man down. This is Timrak. Timrak one-on-one with Romero. Will take a shot and got it past the keeper. Timrak with a beauty towards the upper left corner. Her first goal of the season. She had 6 last year.
Right footer in the corner. McLeod's there, but doesn't get enough of her hands on it to keep it out.
Tell you, Romero was right on her too. Gave her just a yard of space, but sometimes that's all a striker needs.
Especially when your nickname is Baby Samurai.
Timrak out of Bradenton, Florida, scores her first goal of the season. Francis Silva coming onto the pitch. Matthias exits. Silva, another rookie out of Overland Park, Kansas, played for West Virginia. Wears that vaunted number 10 jersey for FC Kansas City.
She got her first professional start Wednesday in the win against Chicago. She used to be a midfielder, and in college they converted her to a forward.
So 2 substitutions for Kansas City. They have 1 more remaining. The Dash have used all 3 of theirs, and they're playing a man down with a red card in the 57th minute. That was given to Ohale. This is too loose. Passed forward. Kalia Ohai tried to turn, couldn't get around Robinson, and Barnhart's there for the clearance. This one pretty much well and wrapped up for FC Kansas City. Should give them their 2nd win of the season, sitting on 4 points and 4th in the table. Should push them up to 7 total. The Dash resting on 3 points in 6th place right now, tied with 3 other teams.
Three other NWSL games today, so we'll see a lot of movement in that table. Only 1 team resting today.
Chicago's the 1 team that is not playing today. They had that midweek contest against FC Kansas City. Richmond plays it outside. Silva gets it right back. Francis Silva, 21-year-old. Part of that Big 12 Championship West Virginia squad last year. 15 goals to lead her squad. Coleman lays it off. Buskowski and Holiday in the middle. And still Kansas City want to attack. And Silva's open on the back post, and Holiday either chose not to play it forward, or she just chose to go backwards. Perhaps head coach Vlatko Adanovsky has called off the Dogs. Coleman to the outside for Tim Rack, the goal scorer. Goal number 3. Tim Rack comes in, cuts on the right foot, got a deflection. Now Holly Hines there to clear, and she's trying to go up top for Kalia Ohai. Ohai, who's been all over the place tonight, is now the lone striker left for head coach Randy Waldrum in the Dash. Silva with a 1-2 on the outside with Robinson. She'll go back to her right back. Played over in the middle for Buskowski. 1-2 touch. Cuts through nicely. Buskowski looking for the shot. Goes far post. Tim Rack could make it a double. Offside is called. Flag is raised on the far side. Don't miss the Dash take on Portland Thorns FC on May 14th. That's 7 p.m. right here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Tickets are on sale now at houston-soccer.com. And with a goal to her name and up 3-0 here in the second half, the final substitution comes for Vlatko Adanovsky and FC Kansas City. Amy Rodriguez, who scored the 2nd in the 52nd minute, will get replaced by Melissa Henderson out of Garland, Texas, who went to Notre Dame and played with head coach Randy Waldrum, the 24-year-old, making her first appearance of the season. There she is on her first touch. Lays it off to her defense. Tries to give and go with Silva. Henderson, the most highly recruited player in 2011. One of them was actually up for an award in ESPN's ESPY Awards.
Well, and she was the #2 overall pick in the 2012 WPS draft, and then the league folded. So I'm sure she's happy that NWSL got formed so she could find a pro career. This is her 2nd year with Kansas City.
And last year she had 13 starts and 17 appearances with a goal that came in the semifinals. Lone goal against Portland FC. They ended up losing that game. Portland FC went on to win it. Here she is running towards the goal line, and it's too far. 5 minutes remaining. Kansas City leads 3-0. Jen, you'd have to say that now head coach Randy Waldrum thinking towards the future for the next game coming up on the schedule.
Well, thankfully, this team doesn't play again for for another week, so he's got some time for players to get rest, maybe make some changes. You've got McLeod and Kyle heading off to play the U.S. next Thursday, but they'll still be able to play against Chicago next.
Just 10 men. There was a red card to O.C. Ohale. Came in the 57th minute, and since then 2 goals have been scored. My apologies, 1 goal has been scored. 2 have come in here in the second half.
I bet we'll see a very different dash when they play at Chicago on the 11th, because that will give, you know, Kaylin Kyle a little bit more time, maybe a couple more practices with the team. Try out some different lineups in the back now that we've traded Nikki Washington to Boston.
Don't forget about the Austrian coming in, Nina. Hopefully head coach Randy Waldrum looks for his first full roster after May 22nd when Klinenberg and Engen come back from their duties in Sweden.
Hey, you got to give them props for making it all the way to the Women's Champions League final with their Swedish club, and they'll be facing Wolfsburg, which is the defending champ. But we want them back here, so as soon as that final's over, and that's played in Lisbon 2 nights before the Men's Champions League final, I think we're going to see a very different dash lineup.
Jen, you'd have to think that this World Cup on the men's side is a good barometer for NWSL to sort of take a peek at how they should handle next season when the Women's World Cup comes to town. They're going to have to find a way to deal with all the roster lineups yet again.
I think it's even more challenging for the NWSL because you have a higher percentage of national teamers on each team's roster.
Sousa will take this corner kick. Header on by Jackson. Sousa keeps it in play, and it's knocked out. Left in the air.
When we spoke to Cheryl Bailey last home game, you know, she said the league is looking at several different options of how they're going to deal with scheduling. It's so tough when they have a set window of time that these players are available, because obviously they want them to have the opportunity to play in Europe and other competitive leagues.
And for the moment, only 9 teams will remain in this league for 2015. And I know we're jumping the gun here talking about that, but you've always got to look forward, because the MLS is adding almost 3 new franchises over the next 5 years, with Atlanta and Miami and New York.
And Orlando City.
And Orlando. They're popping up everywhere, and it's about time that National Women's Soccer got on the docket as well, and they've been doing a great job now, hopefully with a firm hold with the NWSL.
Well, and even Sacramento, the Sacramento Republic, this is a USL Pro team. They had 14,000 at their game last week. That's huge for what's basically a 3rd division team.
Inside, shot on target's good from Silva. And it's just adding more wood to the fire. The 4th goal of the game. Silva gets her first as a member of FC Kansas City with a left-footed shot. Sliding away from all contestants. Romero was the last in there to try and block it. Well, there's nothing McLeod can do about that.
Yeah, upper 90, great pace on it. Nothing McLeod can do. First professional goal for the Mountaineer.
Comes in the 89th minute. Their 3rd goal of the half. And they're down a man still, remember, because Ohale was given a red card in the 57th minute. Now they've scored 2 goals against a 10-man dash squad, 3 in this half. Romero getting called for the foul against Coleman. She can't believe it. Now tempers are tested. And this is Kyle trying to plead her case as FC Kansas City tries a quick restart.
This has got to be disheartening for the Dash. I'm sure they feel that nothing's gone their way tonight.
Jackson just muscled off the ball. Played through by Richmond and Holiday. Still a fantastic crowd that's come out to see Houston. Many thought after the first game, sure, you might get your 7,000 or 8,000 out there, but not so much in the second. I think that's beg to differ, and people have definitely come out to show their support for the Orange. 3 minutes in stoppage time as we near the end of this contest. Still a very active crowd here inside BBVA, even though it's not the result many fans wanted.
Well, they're showing their support well. The Orange Brigade behind the goal on the right. They're banging the drums, keeping the crowd involved.
Well, you take the red card out of it. It was just a 1-0 score at the half. Second half adjustments made by Vlatko Adanovsky outmatched head coach Randy Waldrum. 3 goals scored by the team in white here in the second half, and they're looking for a 5th. We're in stoppage time. And it's more of a training exercise now for FC Kansas City. Dash just trying to repel anything else.
Well, I know Kansas City's going to feel relieved that they've found their footing after taking 4 games to find their first win. But they've got a pretty crowded May. They play almost every Wednesday this month.
Yeah, the Dash don't have their Wednesday game until 2 weeks from today on that 14th. The next one coming up against Chicago. It'll be a nice chance to rebound against a team that sits near the bottom of the table. FC Kansas City, who was one of the best last year, showing exactly why with their 4 goals. Looking to wrap things up here from Houston, Texas. This is Silva. Score of the 4th goal. Into the middle for Buskowski. And Holiday, just winded, being all over the place, will let it run out of bounds. Maybe back in the 40th minute, she might have been able to catch with that one.
She's got to feel relieved that she's not doing all the scoring herself this season, that it's coming from a variety of teammates.
4 different scorers in today's contest for FC Kansas City. Souza lets it run, and that'll do it. Final whistle blows from inside BBVA Compass Stadium. Dash unsuccessful at home. They'll have another shot next week against Chicago. A handshake coming at midfield. We'll take a break and come back with a post-game show. It was the end. 4-0 the final. A few great chances from the Houston Dash came late. They were great, though, from FC Kansas City. 4 different scores. Bogus the first, Rodriguez the second, the last one coming from Silva. Thanks for joining us here on CSN Houston. Final score, Houston Dash 0, FC Kansas City 0. For Jen Cooper, I'm Lane Sieben.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Making isotopes that can detect Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Who's done just about anything else? Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
after every game. Watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
An exoskeleton powered by brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.